everybody. So here we are, gonna start a new journal, and I've been it's kind of one of those things I've been in the back of my brain putting together and piecing together and making plans and all that good stuff. And I think the more I think about it and the more ephemera and stuff, scraps that I start going through, I think I'm going to turn this into two different journals. They're going to be very similar, same theme and all that good stuff, but I feel like I've got a lot of stuff and a lot of ideas, and I think it's best that we divide and conquer. So, first and foremost, I've partnered with BontikVintageDesigns. I'll tag them below in the description of this video. And I'll be using the kit French Farm. So I have it printed off here. And we'll just kind of flip through it and see. I like the reds and yellows of it. And I just printed off, I think I printed off all of the pieces of this kit. So there's, pieces to make pockets and tags with. This is a duplicate. Little pieces to decorate with. Oh, that's a duplicate as well. But you kind of get the feel. Like I said, the reds and yellows, bright, summery, springy farm. And I'll just flip through. I like this one. It looks like rain on a rainy day. I just fell in love with this kit. It's so bright and colorful, and it's just got a certain feel to it. I just really liked it. So yeah, I'm wanting to make, again, I was wanting to make one journal out of it, but I really feel like it's going to be very big. So I just feel like, just because usually if I get a kit, I might print off like half of it or just a select few pages, just to kind of give me a feel. But I loved all of these, and it's like, oh, I love that one, and oh, I love that one, and oh, look at the cats and the dogs and the barns and the flowers, and I really loved it. And so I decided to print them all off, most all of them. I don't believe I printed them all, but and just kind of gonna work with this feel. And again, I think I've decided to do two different journals with this kit, so I can use all of them and I can cram them all in. I'm going to use these two books, and I think what's going to help me out is they're the same size. I'm going to cut the spine out of them and recreate a spine once I get all my pages done. I've been back and forth playing around with different ideas on the ways I make journals. Usually I start with the book and then figure out my pages and then start from there, or then from there make my ephemera. But I don't think I want to do it this time. My book theme journal that I just recently finished and this journal, I think, are both going to be kind of a backwards way around that. I'm not really, I am kind of starting with picking out my journals, but picking out the books and all that. But I am not really going to do anything with them. I'm not going to put them together and make a book until I get all of my ephemera in place and know how big I want my book, I guess is what I'm going to do. So, I have these. Let me just clean these up a little bit. So I'm going to do cover to cover journal makes on this one as far as video, and so you'll see all the steps involved in creating a journal. I'm just trying to kind of clean this up a little bit, get it down to its bare bones. And then, of course, like I said, we will create a spine for this depending on how many pages and how thick we get. But I kind of wanted to, I worked on a little bit of ephemera, but I kind of wanted to go ahead and get my size in mind. So I wouldn't be making ephemera that's too wide or something like that. So I just so happened to find these two books, same size, which is helpful. This one's a little rougher. Rough around the edges here. And of course, I haven't thought about a cover or anything like that. So you'll get to see all the decisions that are made. So yeah, yep, these are the same size, so that worked out really good. That just kind of gives me a broad line if I can get a template made of the size of page that I'm gonna need. That will give me that this inner lining is crooked. It's throwing me off. So we're gonna measure with that one's crooked too. Let's see here. This one looks more straight. I'm gonna give myself a template. So we'll know how big our pages can be. I've already started kind of some of my scraps that I've started going through. I've kind of like started folding them, and if you watched my last video, so this will be a for sure template. So we're not making pages too big. I got a little bit of a runny nose still. I'm recovering from a cold. So apologies if I get to coughing and sneezing and all that good stuff. So here is my page. And that'll fit. This tells me my paper size. So there you have it for that. And I think first and foremost, I have a ton of this scrapbook paper. I don't like it. I don't know where I got it. I think it's kind of ugly. It's a Leisure Arts basket weave camel. I don't like it. But I think it'll go okay with this. I think it'll go very well with this, even though I don't particularly care for it. So I think I want to my book sack here. I think I want to do my inner pages like that. I also have, I picked this up the other day. I haven't been doing very many thrifting things, but I also picked this up just because I knew I was playing around with this idea of French farm, and I saw this and it was in a dump bin for 50 cents. It's a pillowcase, but I just think the colors, I just think it's gonna go really well. So I say that to say I'd like to do it as an inside cover Or maybe an outside cover. I don't know. But, so, I know at least one of these. If I do the inside cover of this yellow book, I think I'll be okay to use just that pillowcase, because it's white and clear and there's nothing to shine through. But this is in a rougher shape, so I'm gonna need, definitely gonna need something to help cover that up. So, with my 12 by 12 scrapbook page, and with my template, because my page size is going to be the same size I need kind of to cover the inside. I might make it a little bigger. I have so much stuff on my desk. It's not even funny. Where is... Okay. I'm not quite sure where that's at, so we'll go... Oh, here it is. I was like, where is this thing? I think we're just going to tap it up in this corner. And as I've claimed before, I'm no professional when it comes to journaling, making journals, making books. I just kind of piddle around and do whatever with it. I'm a collage artist by heart, and I just kind of stumbled into journal making right at about a year ago and fell in love with it. And I had been for a while I've been talking about, oh, I want to do a YouTube video. Oh, what could I do a YouTube video on? And it's kind of been in the back of my brains that I wanted to get on YouTube, and it just so happened that it's like, oh, I can kind of kill two birds with one stone by doing journals and making videos of that. So here I am. All that to be said is, again, I'm no professional, just kind of stumbling around doing this. But I have learned, just being in this community, that when you watch people just, you know, piddle around and create and make and all that, you learn so much. You pick up so much. Stuff that you don't, you know, that you never thought of. And it's not, it maybe not that they're teaching you that, but it just may be the way they do it, and you've never seen it done like that. So it's kind of, I enjoy watching people just make and create and do their thing. And so I thought, well, you know, maybe somebody else enjoys it. And I've got some new internet at my house, which is quite a bit faster, which is cool because that will allow me to upload my videos faster. I'm gluing off camera because the desk isn't big enough to catch everybody. Not big enough to see everything. But I'm using my weld bond. This is paper to paper, but I want it to have a really good seal, since it is the inside cover. Oh, I have so much stuff on my desk. It's not even funny. I started playing around with making some ephemera for this. Just kind of going through my scraps and making some general ephemera. And then I got out my box of, because I've kind of had this in my mind for a little while now. this theme. And so it's like, oh, when I was seeing things, I was piling it in a box. And it's like, oh, I need that for that journal. And I need that for this upcoming journal. And so I have that box full of stuff. Plus I have just my general ephemera making that I was doing in my last video. Kind of going through my scraps of stuff. And so yeah, everything's just kind of piled along here right now. So Weld Bond is what I'm using. That's my glue. For my glue stick, I use Craft Bond Extra Strength. It's the permanent bond. You can find this in the positional, like removable, but I like the permanent bond. Seems to work better for me. So I did say that I was going to kind of do this journal the backwards way and not really get my book situated first. Just going to work on ephemera, and that's what I'm going to do. But I just, again, I kind of had to step back and say, okay, exactly how big is my book going to be before I start making all this ephemera that may not fit. So I had to kind of, again, step back and see what I was working with. So that's what led me to picking out my book. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, oh, this is going to be a big book. And so then I decided to do 2 books. So it's a journal make. This will be a journal make series, cover to cover. But I'll be working in 2 journals. So I don't know what that looks like. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. I did, the last 2 journals I did were dog themed. They're very simple little journals. And I kind of worked on them at the same time. I started on them together at the same time. Mainly because I was just like, pulled out all my dog themed stuff and was like, okay, we're going to make a dog themed journal. And I just had a lot of stuff. And so I thought, we're just going to break this down into 2. And it worked okay. And I was working on both journals at the same time for a good little bit with it. And then I had to separate them because I had not 2 different themes, but 2 different, I had a red one and a blue one. And so the red one is more red, black, and whites. And the blue one was more other stuff. So I had to kind of separate, divide, and conquer at the end of it. So, but with this, I'm kind of doing the same thing. And, those 2 dog journals are different sizes. This one's the same size. I'm kind of just doing the same thing with it. So that's our initial this is book 1. Now book 2, I've got to decide if I want to do that same basket weave paper, or if I do want to cover it with this pillowcase paper, this pillowcase fabric. See, it's see-through, so because it's so because it's thin. Let's see here. I don't know. I think I just want to, and since I have so much of this, I think I'm just going to go ahead and cover it with this on the inside, and then that'll be a base coat kind of thing, and I can decide from there if I want to do anything different on it as we get into it. I think that's what I'll do. I think that's what we'll do. I'm so OCD with this ruler, it's not even funny. I'm saving all these little scraps to use in my ephemera making stuff. I think that's a little crooked. I think my ruler shifted a minute towards the end of that, so we'll see. I think that's gonna work. I've been MIA on YouTube for a little while. I didn't participate in Junk Journal January, and so that kind of kept me from being on here very frequently. But also, as I said, I'm recovering from a cold. And so at one point in time, I didn't have a voice. And at one point in time, I was coughing so much and sneezing so much that y'all probably would have felt like you were going to get sick from just watching me. So I opted to stay off of the camera. So I've been missing. It doesn't mean I haven't been on watching y'all. I just haven't been creating videos. So I'm here though. And I was creating. I wasn't showing y'all what I was creating. I'm kind of excited in a weird sort of way to be able to use this this scrapbook paper, because again, I don't particularly like it, and I've had it for a while, and I was just kind of going through some of my stuff the other day. I was like, oh, that might work for that French farm. And the more I looked at it, I was like, yep, we're going to make it work because we have so many pages. We have all the pages, so. So, again, I don't know what else I'll do in these. In the covers, on the covers, anything like that, I don't know, but I just kind of wanted to get something in place. I feel good about that. So now let's see here, where are we on time? 24. Okay. I think, let's see, I'm not going to fussy cut these on camera. But I wanted them to stay like that until I showed you guys. And so, let me go through here. These I'm going to back with probably that scrapbook paper. And I'll use them most likely for pages in the journals. I think for now. Kind of my thought process on those. I'll fussy cut these little bits, and I also have these bits here that I'm going to work in just because the colors work so well. These are from Cindy at Studio Lou. She has a Patreon account, and I believe these were on one of her, each month she sends out kind of some freebie digital images. They're not really freebie because if you're a Patreon member, you're paying, but she sends out images to her Patreon members, and I believe these little butterflies were amongst that. They were in my scrap pile, so I printed, I will fussy cut them. The colors matched perfectly, so they'll flitter throughout these journals. But I'll fussy cut these guys, and I'll fussy cut all of these. And these. And these. And these. Oh, and these too. So yeah, I'll cut all these off camera, mainly because I know you don't want to sit here and watch me cut. But again, I wanted to keep them all together before, so I could show them to you before I started cutting on them. I'll link below Bontik Vintage Design, and off the top of my head, I can't remember, but he's offering a discount in his shop, and so that discount code and information will be there as well. So I'm gonna set these aside because these are gonna be fussy cutting. So as soon as I get done with this video, I'll go pile up on my couch and fussy cut while I watch some TV. I gotta decide, so these are like half sheets that I'm gonna just fold and use as pages. But I have these, and I can make journal cards out of them, big journal cards. Because here's our template, and I mean, I could easily trim them down a little bit. Maybe that's what we'll do. We'll trim these down to a workable size. For a journal card. They are a workable size right now, but and then I'll back them and all that good stuff. So I say this is going to be a cover to cover. There's some things I'm sure you guys just don't want to watch people do, but gosh, I don't know. So hard to know what the audience wants. Come in a little bit. Yeah, these will be big journal cards, but I think they'll work out okay. Yeah, that's pretty good size, and I think we'll be able to, yep. So let's see here. Trim this one down a little bit. Isn't this kit so pretty? I just fell in love with it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I just love all the colors of it. It's just so bright, and it's got a country feel to it, but not really, if that makes any sense. It's not like your country farmhouse kind of stuff, but it is. Maybe it's the French flair to it. It is kind of wide. Let's see. Maybe I'll trim it off a little bit more. Yep, I just love the bright colors, and it has a little spring, but it kind of also has a little summer feel to it. So I was kind of digging that. I really like the rain. I wish there was more rain images. I really like that. Doing the same thing with these images. These aren't exactly a half page. They've got a line in between them, so I'm just trimming them down to, I think there's 6 of them. And you can easily use these, you know, on a page. You know, like if you just have a blank page, you can glue down the image like that and use it as, you know, make the image the page, a big portion of the page, if you wanted to. I'm going to come in quite a bit on this one. Lots of things you can do with images in a kit. I don't use kits very often. Mainly because there's just so many and they're so overwhelming to me. I know that's not really a valid excuse, but when I go on to Etsy or wherever and start digging around trying to figure out what I want to do, it's like it becomes overwhelming very quickly. So that's kind of why I like working with Bontik Vintage Designs. Is, you know, tons of images on their site. Their printables are really lots to choose from, and it's like, okay, I got to narrow it down. Give me one to work with, and okay. These two are going to be a little tricky. How far over can I go with this girl? So I appreciate him reaching out to me and being like, hey, can we do another collab? We did a collab back in October. I did a little Halloween. He had a really cute, I assume it's still on his site. I haven't looked, but really cute Halloween kit. And I did a little Halloween journal with it. It was a lot of fun. So it was kind of a quick journal. That was fun to work with him, promote his shop and all that, and offer you guys a discount. I don't know how many of you guys participated in that. I haven't asked him. I guess I should ask him. But it was fun. And so I was glad that he reached out again and wanted to collab again. That worked out. Okay, Mr. Rooster, how are we going to cut you down? I obviously don't want to lose his head, and I don't want to lose his tail, so... Maybe I can cut off a couple of feathers of his tail to trim him down a little bit. Yeah, not too bad. Okay. I know I have an open blade on my table. Very aware of that open blade now, so. Okay. So, we have these here. And, I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and back them. I pulled out, a big stash of old envelopes and old papers and all that to to do, to use as backing. Let me see, where's my template? Is that, okay. So let's see here. How about we figure out how to use this as a page. So I want to kind of keep this as an option. So can we do this? How far down can we go with it? I bet we can. Do that. I think we're gonna do that. We're gonna make a page / pocket out of this. You'll see how I'm measuring. I'm keeping my finger on where it needs to be. Not a huge fan of measuring. Not a huge fan of it. Okay, and so I think on this end of I'm gonna trim this, so we'll open this envelope up on this side for a pocket as well. Just want to trim enough to open it up. Just a little sliver. Again, just to open it up. It'll be kind of like a hidden pocket. This is the page, and this pocket with this envelope flap, and then this would be that. Probably shouldn't have done that, but that's okay. And I think I want to, while I'm thinking about it, take a little bite out of it. Okay. Back to this. And then this. Yep. I think we'll do that. I really wasn't planning to make pages, but, you know, it's funny how these things kind of create themselves. Funny how that works. So that shows you can use an envelope, how you can use a big envelope. I pulled it out to use it for backing and things like that, but this one turned into a page in a pocket. Page of pockets. I just kind of like that. So we want him, or I mean, I just picked him because he's the biggest, but I kind of like her. I mean, I like all these images. That's why I printed them out. I'm kind of feeling her right there, actually. Okay. We'll do that. Again, sometimes you just gotta let the journal do its thing. Make itself. Just how it happens sometimes. It may possibly be crooked, but we're not going for perfection here, so we are just going to go with it. So, a little hidden pocket in there. A little hidden pocket, and that's not really hidden, it's got a flap to it. I have a box here. These are some pages that I started. And so I'll just tuck that in. Of course, I'm going to sew these. This one we can probably cut down. This is our goose page that I did in my last video. But now that we have a template, we can see he's going to be too big, so we will cut him down. Cut him down quite a bit. Okay, just to like half an inch off of him. Or more. He's going to be too long there, too. Just a little titch off at the end of that one. You can see how, in my world, maybe how I got my name for my channel, Chaos. Kind of all over the place. I'm doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And it's like, oh, well, that's not where we were going with that, but that's how it ended up. I think my template's a little crooked, but anyways, I've got a box going of quote unquote pages that I've started. This one will have to be trimmed down. Not intentionally, didn't intentionally start pages, but just how it happened. Okay, back to what I was doing. I could do the same thing with this guy too. I feel like there's something in here. Nope, maybe not. Let me cut the edge off. See what we're working with. Just trim it off enough to open the envelope. Now let's fold it in half. We got that. Just that. And I need something there. I think I might leave that for now. Or I could put him here. And leave. Yeah, I'll put him here. And leave the other side with this little bit that we're going to cover up. And when we get it in the book, we'll kind of see if we can do a pocket or something like that on that on that little edge. Yeah, that was kind of cool to do the envelopes like that. And we'll put a little notch in him up here. Yep. Okay. Cool deal. Okay. Let's go back to what we were doing. We got these left, these 4. And we make journal cards out of them. Basic journal cards right now. I'm just going to back them and I'm just going to back them with some folder. And I haven't figured out like my accent stuff as far as if I have certain trim and things like that I'm going to work with. I haven't figured that out yet, so I'm not going to add any floof or anything like that to these journal cards just yet. Until I figure out what I'm doing. And now I'm going to keep this folder like it is, and we'll do 2 top flip cards. How's that? So if I glue them on the fold of this folder and trim them out, then we can flip them open. Yep. We'll do that for those 2. And again, I'll be sewing around all my ephemera as well, but I won't do that on camera because I don't want to bore y'all, and I don't want to disrupt your hearing. My sewing machine's loud and clanky for some reason, I think. So I'm just gluing these with glue stick. Again, because I will be sewing around them. I might do this with those other 2 as well. We'll see how this turns out as far as these flip up cards. I'm cutting through both pieces of the folder. I haven't decided about edging my papers with, with my ink. I haven't decided on that. I mean, I'm sure I will. And I haven't decided on rounding my corners yet. So, and these 2 little journal cards. I actually think I'm just going to do a little round. Excuse me. And of course, I'll sew around the edges of these little babies. Yeah, I think that's kind of a fun way to do a journal card. So flip ups like that. Okay, these two babies. What do we want to do with them? I have these cards here. I have a handful of them. And they'll match the color scheme here. They're calendars on the back side. I was wondering if I could a little too short to cover them up. That's my problem. See, I've not covered up my 4 down there. Okay, I'll just set them aside and yeah, I'll have to figure something out with these guys. I was just looking through my scraps, see what I had. See what I had pulled out. Okay, well, let's see. I'm gonna reach over here. I can get 2 of them on this scrap. Good deal. I like using my scraps. I like it. Using my scraps instead of my folder pieces. I glued him down crooked, but we'll straighten him up. I started this year, I'm going to count how many glue sticks I go through. I'm going to keep up with them. Just out of pure curiosity. Because I know I go through a lot of them. This one I'm going to leave a border on. And this one I won't. Okay. Well, that is all I'm going to do for the moment. I'm going to sew these and so my homework is to I'll sew these and a couple other pieces that I've made, and I'll fussy cut these guys, and then I'm gonna trim down these. So these are the double pages. I'm gonna trim the white off of them, and you guys don't need to see me do that. So when we come back, we'll have these trimmed, all these fussy cut, and a good handful of these ephemera pieces sewed around. That's the game plan for the moment. So again, I'll link the information below for Bontik Vintage Designs. I believe, off the top of my head, I can't remember what the discount is that he's offered, but it'll all be below. So go to his site, check it out, his Etsy shop, and see if there's anything that tickles your fancy. And yeah. So I'll be back soon enough. Bye for now. And, you know, hopefully you guys will join me through this whole cover to cover. It was just going to be one journal, but now we're functioning with 2 journals. So it'll be a cover to cover making 2 journals that'll be very similar, but not exactly alike, because, you know, that's just how we are. So anyways, thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys later. Bye for now.